It's time to just tell everyone what's at stake. Okay? All right. I'm the only voice out there. You can go ahead and look to see if there's any other voices out there who can effectively analyze, both spiritually and mentally, the issues regarding the class and race divides in our country, and be able to effectively guide people in a direction of unity. I am the only voice who, therefore, who can take this experience that I have and my capabilities as a sort of diplomat for different areas of different areas of issues and demographics, okay, in our country's landscape. To say the least, lends itself to these very chaotic, changing times. Here's the thing. You can think whatever you want, okay? About me, about what I'm saying here. It doesn't really matter. I have no need for fame and fortune. I have no need for attention. I don't even have really need to be given like public widespread credit for anything. God knows what I've done and what I haven't done, and where credit lies with me and where it's due. But many years ago, I knew that I was positioned in the world. I had to grow up, I had to gain more insight. But I knew instinctively that I was positioned in the world to help guide, particularly the Western world and Western culture, in this time of change. And whether you know it or like it or not, we don't have leadership that can even come close to being able to bridge these gaps between classes and races in particular, let alone fight corruption. But along the way, and I have put a lot of material out there at this point about that, along the way I've been plagiarized, I've been blocked, I've been hijacked. It hasn't been easy. Sometimes it's been agony. But I've reached a point in my life where this is not personal to me. But I do see the dire situation that our country in particular is in, and also the Western sphere. Without a voice being able to effectively bridge these gaps, not only will the country crumble and the cultural hemisphere crumble and decay more, but more and more conflict because of it will arise. And there are many evils that are more than willing to take over and invade. At this point, my presence online is constantly being hijacked. It's constantly under assault. I have fought the good fight. I continue to do so to a certain extent, and I have been able to make quite a bit of headway considering everything. But, for example, YouTube every step of the way, and now Rumble, and now Substack. The different infections inside their institutions have effectively made it so it is almost impossible for me to grow online. Is that important to me personally? No, it's not. I really don't give a fuck. I hate social media. But what I do care deeply about are particularly the youth, the children, and I do care about society at large. And I'm extremely concerned for all of those things. If I'm not given support or the ability to create more publicity and more of an expansion of my public persona, there isn't anything that I can do. And I'm not going to stand around fighting a losing battle. Okay. I will continue my work and I will make the sacrifices to stay where I am so that there is some stability in these particularly urban areas that are fraught still with chaos, conflict, confusion, particularly in the youth, which is what is going to ultimately lead us to our demise, suffering, unimaginable suffering and collapse, that we don't have a future in the youth. They have been confused, corrupted, misled, and they continue to be. But that doesn't mean it. So my other option in life, personally, I could sell everything up and go live like a queen on some nice sprawling ranch, okay, all of my own, in someplace sunny. I could do that. And maybe I still will. But at this point, I know that if I leave where I am at, if I take those other avenues, that there isn't any voice, there isn't any support. There's no spiritual core support in areas that truly need it. The situation is very, very dire. I'm also continuing to be ignored, and by women particularly, and predominantly Western women, white Western women, in all the areas, particularly women's health, that I've tried to work in. They just continue to ignore me. And so yes, I'm going to continue forward with the work, and I'm going to make headway because, well, frankly, I have a lot of insight that nobody has. But if something doesn't change, and if it doesn't change soon, then you're not going to have the substantial voice that you need in Western culture to bridge these gaps, to bridge these divides. The culture is too fraught. It's too fraught with dishonesty. It's too fraught with selfishness that leads to corrupted thinking, that leads to the destruction of the youth. So I was just looking at avenues to try to move forward, maybe with YouTube or whatever. I've come to the end. And again, that doesn't personally hurt me. I don't give a fuck about that personally. I am gravely concerned for our society and the future of our children.